So, Yu-Gi-Oh! It is generally something I like. You too, right, Maya?
Oh, I love it. In fact, it's my favorite game. And a very good anime.
Yes. Oh well, it used to be in my opinion. So, well, so a lot of people probably don't know, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually has like a lot of other seasons than the original Duel Monsters anime. It went up to actually like six different spin-offs. There was the original Toei anime season 0. Then there was the Duel. Yes, it was pretty great. Where it focused on more than just the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters card game. There was the original Duel Monsters anime, which is pretty good, though can be a little slow at sometimes. Then there's the other ones people really don't know, like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Some people really don't know it because it's more, I guess, lighthearted tones. Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds is a really popular one because of its dark and, I guess, grittier tone. Though I have my opinions on it, I overall say it's a good one. Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, people know because it went back to its childish tone that GX had. But overall, I think it's probably the most solid one in story-wise. It has its plot and it carried it mostly throughout all of its run. I would say only the beginning is really kind of slow. But it picks up. Then the ones that I know people don't know too much about is Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 and Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains. Probably some of the most decisive ones in all of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Animes. Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 is really decisive for its ending, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains is really decisive for its final 20 episode season 3. But we're not going to talk about those, maybe another day. I want to focus on the previous Yu-Gi-Oh! Spin-off, which was not developed by Yu-Gi-Oh! Former Yu-Gi-Oh! Show creator Studio Gallop. It was instead created by Studio Bridge. Who are Studio Bridge? Well, I looked them up. They made the Fairy Tail anime, which, I mean, that's something, right? Right, Maya? Have you ever watched Fairy Tail?
No, it's too generic anime for me.
Yeah, I've seen like the first season, I think. It was like okay. No, that's not gonna blow you away with like amazing storytelling. But so their first attempt, Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, was pretty successful, despite probably a lot of people never hearing about it outside of Japan. Why? Because it didn't get a dub until like years later. Overall, the Yu-Gi-Oh's anime popularity has, I would say, been overshadowed by the card game itself now. Since the anime is not used to promote the card game anymore. Everyone's kind
of... we need more support for other archetypes.
Yes. But now the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game stands on its own as probably, I would say, the most popular card game. I mean, Pokemon. Pokemon is still a pretty popular one, but I don't know. I'd say the other Pokemon properties are more popular. Like, the video games, the anime, and there's so many more Pokemon properties more popular than the card game. Though it is still going on. And not to offend anyone, but I don't know many people who play Magic the Gathering. It's probably the one product I see a lot in stores, while usually Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon are all sold out. Isn't that kind of sad?
I still play Magic, but the tools I have are limited.
Uh, is it a fun card game?
It's pretty fun. I stopped playing right before they introduced energy tokens, the planeswalker cards, other stuff. I don't know. That was a
But
while back. I still run with my own cards.
to be honest, my biggest exposure to Magic is this one episode of fucking South Park where they make chickens play it and they call it cock magic. It was an alright episode, but I'm getting off topic. So, Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens. That is indeed a show that I watched, and I'm here to express my opinion, which we all know my opinions are correct. So if you ever disagree with me, then you are indeed wrong, because you are not the one talking right now. Am I right? That is the facts of life. So, in my opinion, which we know my opinions are right, I do not enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens. In fact, I would say that I was quite bored of it. I was very frustrated overall by the 92, I think, episodes of it. Each episode, I felt like my soul was being drained, and I felt bad for all the people at Studio Gallup who got snubbed of their jobs for this thing to rise out of its corpse. But like, what is Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens anyway? Well, it's quite simple. Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens is the 7th. Wow. Who came up with that creative name, am I right?
Dude, they're on par with Nintendo with the creative title there.
Yeah,
I love Yu-Gi-Oh! Card 7.
I wonder what console Yoshi's New Island 3DS is on. Right?
What do I need to play Super Smash Brothers for Nintendo Wii U again? I forgot.
Man, I think you need the Sega Genesis, bro.
Well, everyone needs to.
Alright, so creative title aside, Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens is the 7th Yu-Gi-Oh! Show overall, but technically it's the 6th spin-off, because the original show is not a spin-off. It's the original show, which I never got. Why are they called spin-offs and not just sequels? That's always what I wondered.
Does that make sense?
Yes, a spin-off is a totally different thing, but I guess it's a spin-off. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens takes place nowhere in the previous Yu-Gi-Oh! Timeline, because it doesn't exist. No matter what the show says, the timeline just does not make sense for Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens. And instead takes place in its own timeline in overall that I think is like somewhat connected to the original show, but like also it's not. So what is Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens about? Well, it's about this kid named Yuga. I think his last name is Odo. Let me look this up on Yugipedia real quick. Yeah, his full name is Yuga Odo. And I'm just gonna say, Yuga is my least favorite character in this whole Sevens show. But we'll get to that later. It's about Yuga Odo, as he feels like dueling has become stale and really just doesn't like the dueling. So he decides that he's gonna take the liberty of changing everything about it. Instead saying his rules are superior. So he creates Rush Rules, a new form of dueling which he says is gonna spice up the game. The big company that controls dueling, Goha, does not like that Yuga changed the rules, and no matter what they do, they cannot delete his rules. So the whole show revolves around that. And yeah. It's an okay concept. A big corporation that rules everything could be an interesting concept.
He's the guy who plays Monopoly and forces his free parking.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yes, Guy does not like how everyone else plays, so he decides that his way is way better. But overall, that's really what the whole show is about. It doesn't really get any deeper than that. From the 92 episodes I watched, each arc is generally about rush dueling, which doesn't sound bad, but like, no other Yu-Gi-Oh anime is like that. The whole arc is usually around, I don't know, something else. Like, looks like the original show. The original Duel Monsters was its first arc was Duelist Kingdom. What was it about? It was about Yugi trying to save his grandfather's soul, who was taken by Pegasus, who wanted to duel Yugi to get his Millennium Puzzle. But the whole show did not revolve around that. That was just the first arc of the show. Sevens, there's multiple arcs, but they still revolve around people not liking rush duels and wanting to delete them. Or it's something about rush duels in general. Every villain of Sevens' whole goal is to delete rush duels. They just do it in a different way. And overall, it's just not very fun to watch after a while. Each character, each villain is pretty standard. They come in, they introduce themselves, they're like, I'm blank, and I hate rush duels. They usually defeat Yuga or one of the main characters. They stick around for a few episodes, Yuga beats them, and they realize how cool and epic rush duels are, and they're suddenly a good guy now.
I see the line. I understand now.
It's like that one Danny DeVito meme where he's like, oh my god, I get it. You've seen that meme before, right? Put that in the video. Put that fucking Danny DeVito where he's looking at the camera. He's like, oh my god, I get it. That's basically what every one of these villains generally are. But what's weird is that the villains get progressively worse as the show goes on. So the story is not that interesting in my opinion. It revolves around this one kid who made different rules, and for some odd reason they just can't change them. But Yu-Gi-Oh stories aren't generally what people go to them for. Sure, I mean there could be interesting, but I think the biggest part of what makes a Yu-Gi-Oh show is the characters. Because if your story is like, I don't know, something kind of boring, if you have good characters, you can make it work, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is that that's not what Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's really wants to focus on. Its plot is not very interesting, which other Yu-Gi-Oh! Animes are, and its characters aren't very interesting. Of course, my least favorite character in the show is the main protagonist, Yuga. Actually, no, that's a lie. I remember there's another character I don't like even more, but I don't like Yuga in general because he's pretty boring as a protagonist. He only has one emotion, which is happy. He's generally happy to like everyone he meets. I'm pretty sure the only 2 times he actually like shows a different emotion is in one episode where he loses, then becomes like depressed. But it turns out he wasn't really depressed. He was just like not like showing any emotion until he like it's hard to explain. Like he looks depressed, but like suddenly it's real that he was actually like super happy. Oh, it's like weird. And then there was another time where he was like scared, and he was like, yeah, that's kind of it. Mostly the show, he's just happy, which is not very interesting. The show says he's a super genius, and he makes all these inventions, and he calls them roads. I'm pretty sure he explains why he calls them roads or something, but in my opinion, I think it's kind of a stupid thing. He always says, "This is my new road," and it's some stupid invention he made for like a gimmick of an episode. And they use it for comedy a lot, but the comedy just doesn't hit. That's the problem. This show is not made for like teens. The other Yu-Gi-Oh shows are generally made for a teen audience, especially like Season 0, with its more mature, like, violent games. You remember, right? Generally, the Yu-Gi-Oh property was made for teen audiences. That's why its monsters were like...
making people shoot themselves, setting them on fire and shit. Whoa.
Yeah.
And ruthless. Like, you took this 10-year-old seriously. You don't fuck with this. Okay, fuck with you.
Yugi isn't 10. He's like 14. So, yeah, these shows were like made for like a teen audience, really. They could show like more cooler monster designs than like other popular games like Pokemon. Because Pokemon's mainly a children's franchise. But Yu-Gi-Oh, you can have cool monsters like Blue Eyes or like the Dark Magician. Or like you can show demons like Summon Skull and other cool monsters. But Sevens was made for a kid audience, so that means they had to dummy down everything. But the problem is that kids aren't that dumb. I think there's a lot of kid shows that could be more mature, have like funny writing. Stuff like Gravity Falls comes to mind, where in one episode, like literally the ghost of a guy makes severed animal heads bleed out of their mouths as they're chanting some kind of ghost thing. Remember that episode? Northwest. Yeah, that episode was pretty dark, but I'm pretty sure kids liked it. Kids don't like to be talked down on. They like cooler, older things. That's why they gravitate to Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's like, oh, look all these cool monsters. Ancient Egyptian cool stuff. You get what I mean? Well, I bet, maybe in Japan it's different. Maybe they generally like the cuter things, so this is why Sevens was popular in Japan. But to an American audience, which Yu-Gi-Oh! Was also a pretty popular thing in America, still is, I just don't see the appeal. The comedy is not that funny. But I'm getting off hand. We were talking about characters, right? So, yeah, Yuga is mainly used for his comedic roads. Like in one episode, he modified his bike. There's never really a reason why he's modifying his stuff. They try to say like he doesn't like being restricted, yet they don't really do too much with that. In fact, in one arc, he just joins the Goha Corporation, the people restricting him. So it's literally that phrase we were talking about. If you can't beat him, join him. I know. Well, Yuga did it in one of arc. He joins the guy, like the main villains. Yuga has no personality really. He's mostly the happy guy who like shows how epic his rush duels are and flaunts how great his rush duels are, and so much better than master duels, which I find very offensive as a master duel player. My headcanon.
What's the meta like in OCG lanes?
I don't know.
Play
Master Duel is the general term. Master Duels is the general term for like our Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG, OCG. Rush Duels, Master Duels. We have to distinct them now. Whatever.
Yeah, back to the...
Yes. So yeah, he says his rush duels are like really epic and great, and they're way better than master duels, which like we don't even actually see a master duel. Our first, throughout the whole show we don't see how it is, so we don't. The problem is that if we want to sympathize with a character trying to change something, we actually have to see why he wants to change it. He doesn't want to change because the system is oppressed. He says he doesn't like dueling how it is, but we never get to see what dueling is like. So yeah, Yuga is overall pretty. He's not even like that important in the plot. The most important is that he created rush duels. Mostly the other characters progress the plot, such as like his best friend or like the other characters around him. Yuga is mostly just there. A lot of important plot points don't revolve around him. The only time I can really think about it is like during the final duel where he like actually like does something and duels the main villain of the show, which we'll get to him. But yeah, Yuga's overall pretty insignificant to his own show. From what I remember, he doesn't really do too much. All he does is create rush duels, and everyone else comes to Yuga, says, "Hey, rush duels are bad." And he's like, "No, they're not. They're super. They're super epic." Then they duel. Yeah, Yuga's just not a very good protagonist. If the guys on Yugapedia can't even finish his page, then you know you're not really great.
You know you're a bad character.
Alright, but now since we talked about, I want to move on to like I'm gonna say it's the writer's pet of the character, the writer's pet of Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, and that's Luke. Or Rook. I think like give him two different names, but I'm pretty sure it's Luke. Luke is a blue-haired, cool guy who I'm pretty sure, I'm just gonna say it, is the main protagonist. He has like the most story arcs to him, and a lot of episodes focus around him. Basically, he's just a better Yuga in every way. Basically, Luke does a lot of important plot points focus around him. A lot of duels are mostly focused around Luke, and even like later, like halfway through the show, Luke basically becomes the main character. A lot of episodes focus around his abilities and his duels. Like, I would say about halfway through the show, they reintroduce fusion monsters into the rush duel format. Yes, Master Rules. And guess who created fusion?
Oh, that's right.
It wasn't Yuga, the main character, it was Luke. He created fusion. And you want to know how he created fusion?
How's that?
So he created this superhero persona called the Luke Man, who's like this dragon Power Ranger dude.
Oh, Gohan, no! They're just doing a Gohan!
What do you mean? Did Gohan create a superhero persona? So yeah, Luke like made this, like wrote this whole like manga about the Luke Man, which was like his OC. His older sister, who was like a major important character, Yuga's family is like never addressed, but like Luke's older sister is like a major character. I just find that funny. So his older sister sees this manga and she's like, this is pretty epic. I'm gonna mail this to the newspaper so they can put it in as like a little, like a comic, like a newspaper comic. So Luke's older sister, her running joke is that she overall does not know technology. That's her one joke. She gets super mad about technology and she starts punching it, which I assure you is hilarious the first 20 times they do it. So what she does is she tries to fax it to the newspapers. Of course, it doesn't work, and she ends up fucking beating up the fax machine. Okay, now look at this. Beating up the fax machine somehow turns the fucking thing sentient. I kid you not. Putting the thing through the fax machine somehow turned the comic sentient. Yes, that one episode paper. Yeah. But it's that at least that one was like it was like paranormal, right? Mm-hmm. This one was literally just some random fax machine that she just hit and suddenly became real.
Well, for Gravity Falls, it was a scanner printer that Ford made. Like, scan DNA or some shit and then print it out.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia, and literally that's it. Somehow the electricity from the fax machine turned a paper sentient. There's no implied magic or anything, which, okay. So the sentient manga then transfers itself to like a robot and becomes the Luke Man. The Luke Man, the only thing he wants is to he just wants to be with Luke, like as his superhero persona. Yes, and he has a very superhero
theme. But he doesn't use heroes.
No, he doesn't. He uses dragons, which is what Luke uses. But he does a thing where he talks in the third person, where he's like, "I, the Luke Man," and he like poses. From what I remember. So, I forgot how, but like, it was the Luke Man who like introduced fusions. So, what I remember is that he transferred his consciousness to a robot, and like his desire to be with Luke, like I don't know, fuse with him, become Luke Man or something, somehow turned a bunch of cards into that were in space into the fusion card. The anime really has this obsession with like turning like cards into any card that the player needs in the moment, like a destiny draw.
This is the card I need to draw.
But the problem is they just create the card they need. But it's not magic, it's like technology. So there's really no excuse for why it can become like that. That's what happens with Luke, the Luke Man. He just creates fusion out of like blank cards. It's probably one of the more interesting stories that actually like kept my attention. From what I remember, they were some of my favorite episodes because they just kept my attention. Isn't that kind of sad? Yes, a lot of these episodes blend together. But the one episode with the superhero who came to life because electricity affected some paper kept my attention. Though after that, the Luke Man like fucks off into space until the series finale. Now, let me talk about my favorite character of the whole show before I talk about another not good character. So, my favorite character of Sevens is the school council president. Forgot his name, but he has like purple hair. His whole shtick is that he likes to follow the rules. And he's like very like traditional, so he like wears like a kimono when he duels. He's just like he gets a lot of episodes, and he's probably the one that develops the most. And usually his jokes lands the best out of all four main characters. There's not really much I could say about him, other than I think he's probably my favorite main character. Which, isn't that kind of funny? My favorite character I have the least to say about? Usually with other shows I can go a lot on about like characters I like. But Sevens, I just don't remember. It all just blends together. Do you get what I mean, Maya? I even Let me just look up his name on fucking Wikipedia again. His name is fucking let's see. Gakuto. That's his fucking name. Fucking great. Gakuto. He's generally the most entertaining character, and his episodes are like some of the ones I can tolerate the most.
Actually bearable, not in my world.
But he barely duels. I'm looking at this thing, he only duels 11 times out of 92 episodes. And he loses a lot of them. Well, now, since we talked about my favorite character, we talk about
the worst character.
Not the worst.
Say show.
No. Show is a bad character, but we'll talk about GX another day and why it's an underrated masterpiece.
Yes.
But another character I'm not too spectacular about is Roman. Now, I don't know if people are coping, but who I've seen people online are trying to say Roman is the best Yu-Gi-Oh! Girl character, which, like, no. I'm sorry, but whoever says that, you guys are, like, capping, like, hard. Like, super hard. Like, are you fucking kidding? I can think of, like, a lot of other Yu-Gi-Oh! Girls, like, way better than Roman.
What's her face? Asuka from GX.
Asuka, yeah, she's pretty cool. I like Asuka. Aki from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Yuzu from, like, the first half of Arc 5 is a really good character. All three of those are better characters than fucking Roman. Roman is the girl archetype of Yu-Gi-Oh! Her whole shtick is that she doesn't like rush duels, duels in general, but then she learns that duels are epic.
That's a character arc.
Yeah, basically.
She has fun with the game.
And literally, one of her jokes at the beginning of the series is that whenever she gets hungry, she's like a way better dueler. Even though she doesn't like duels to begin with. So why does making her hungry make her a better dueler? That's like if someone doesn't like to play soccer, but then if they get a cold, they're suddenly like the greatest soccer player in the world. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, like, where did this come from?
They never explain it. They just say, oh, Roman has the ability of when she's hungry, she becomes really good at dueling. I guess for the funny.
Oh, you know what it is? That's her skill card in Duel Links.
She's gonna get hungry for the funny.
Ooh, this is a funny joke.
It's I'm pretty sure it's a joke, but like I said, it's not very funny. It's the same thing. She gets hungry, her eyes turn red, and she becomes like, yes, I must duel really, very, very try-hardy. That's it.
Good.
Though she gets like some development. Overall, her episodes are like okay. But of course, one of my least favorite episodes is with her in it. Basically, during the first arc, the main villain is her cousin named Roa, who, like, I think it implies that, like, he emotionally abuses her by, like, gaslighting her into doing what he wants. Like, Roman, in that episode, Roman explains that she was only friends with the other three to get close because Roa told her to do it. And that made me not like her anymore. Throughout the whole show, I'm like, throughout the rest of the show, I don't know, they just she did not redeem herself in my eyes. She seemed very genuine when she said, I didn't like you guys at all, fuck off. And what's worse is that after that mini 3-episode arc of that happening, she just comes back. She rejoins the group, and there's like zero tension in it. She didn't even there was no apology whatsoever. She just came back. That's like if you told your friends to fuck off one day, and then like the next day they just come back saying, hey yo, hey guys, and you just accept them. right?
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like the kind of thing a young adventurer would do on a mighty quest. Would find somebody that they can collapse as they then be friends, and becomes a part of their journey to defeat the evil dragon. Or something like that. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, after that episode, Roman just, I don't know, just does generic girl stuff. I'm trying to think of what it does, but I can't think of anything. That's the problem with these characters. They're just not really too special.
Yeah.
She's a guitarist, which I guess is something. She likes music. They do that joke where she's like a bad cook. They're like, oh, she can't cook. Her cooking sucks. Which, haha, fucking hilarious. Right?
Yeah, that's so funny. I've never heard that one.
Like, literally, her personality tab in the Wikipedia has like 2 paragraphs, and they're like very short paragraphs. Here, she gets reasonably along with Yuga and his friends. And despite not being interested in duels, she's fairly observant and a fast learner. Yeah, that she gets along. It doesn't even say that they're friends. They just get along. And then literally the second paragraph is literally saying that when she gets hungry, she gets very aggressive while dueling. Yeah, that's her fucking personality. She's very... Yeah, that's it.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. Seriously, guys, you really think this is the best Yu-Gi-Oh! Girl character? Come on, guys. Have you not seen My Valentine from the original show? She gets, like, way more development than this shit. You guys gotta... I swear, man, these guys... If I seriously want to know... If someone wants to say that she's the best girl, then, like, give me an actual reason. I still don't see it. Like, you really think this is the peak of Yu-Gi-Oh! Girl characters? You must have fucking low standards. Alright. Well, that's the 4 main characters. Well, I like 1 out of 4. Congratulations. You really hit out of the park with that one, Studio Bridge. Alright. Well, have a fucking cookie and a half. 1 cookie for 1 character I kinda like. Alright, now I want to talk about the side characters. The show is fucking obsessed with, like, side characters. I swear, there's like groups of, like, 3 side characters. I'm just gonna talk about the 1-2 characters that I want to talk about. The 2 side characters that I generally remember. Alright, so there's this 1 side character girl. I forgot her name, but she's basically like a spy for Goha. You know what her joke is? She looks like she's in elementary school, but she's actually a 37-year-old woman.
No.
Sadly, yeah.
It's disgusting.
That's the joke. Fucking hilarious. What? Fuck Genshin Impact. I don't give a shit about that game. That's her joke. Let me find her name, because there has to be somewhere. Man, I fucking love this show.
It's great. It's awesome.
No, not him. Is it this one? No, I'm not that guy. Oh my god, where the fuck is this fucking bitch? Alright, this is the fucker. Mimi, that's her fucking name. Mimi. Look at this bitch. Oh, I'm gonna send you, put this in the video. Look at this fucking bitch. She's 37 years old. I was right.
37 years old.
She. Yes.
That's not.
So she's introduced as like a Gohop spy who sneaks into the elementary school because she can pass off as an elementary schooler.
Ew.
Fucking hilarious.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, fucking hilarious, am I right? So she sneaks in and then she just kind of like shows up randomly. I don't think she ever tells the other characters that she's actually a 37-year-old woman. Which we never meet her husband because yeah, she's married, so that's kind of sus. Who the fuck is this husband married this woman who looks like a? I want to talk to him. It's mega sus. I say she's like one of the more bearable side characters. She's like,
why
huh?
out of all of the characters, it had to be the pedo? Or the pedo bait, I guess.
I don't know, because they think it's a funny, because Japan thinks that's a very funny joke. Haha, haha, 37 million-year-old dragon is actually some fucking. Fucking hilarious. At least the other. So yeah, from what I remember, she is like one of the more tolerable side characters. She generally made me like, not laugh, but like just just like a, that was kind of funny. Well, that's really all I have to say about her. Once again, there's not too much to these characters. They're just kind of their one personality trait that they just kind of show up. Literally, her page on the Wikipedia, her personality is just blank.
Kind of like me.
She has nothing written under her personality on the Wikipedia. Alright. Then there's Kaizo. I forgot about him. So Kaizo, he's like this robot drone that Yuga modified. His whole joke is that he's a simp for Roman.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's his joke. He really likes Roman, and that's kind of it.
He's into a girl.
Yeah, that's kind of it. He's there for the funny. Don't find him that funny. Alright, now here's the last like main side character I'm gonna talk about before I talk about like the villains. Cause oh boy, I hate the villains of this show. But before we get to that, let's get with Roa. Roa. The cousin of Roman and the guy who like gaslit her to like betray the others. So Roa is my least favorite character in the show. It's not even a contest. So so you want to know his backstory? Alright, so you see his backstory is like tangled with Yuga's. So Yuga has his ace monster is called Seven's Road Magician. which I've showed you its design. It's horrendous. I showed you his design, right? Seven's Road Magician.
Yeah.
It's fucking horrible. It's too like busy. There's really it's really not that good. So Yuga got this card at this like one tournament where like a contestant threw it to him, and Yuga's like, whoa, I got this cool card now, and it like inspired him or something. Roa was also at that same tournament where Yuga got that card, and he got jealous that Yuga got that card, so he fucking hates Yuga. That's his whole backstory. He got salty that he didn't get a card. So his plan is to like, let me try to. Oh my god, the fucking Yugapedia doesn't even have his plan. Hold on. Because I generally don't remember what it is. Alright, so what I'm reading here is that he is really mad about Yuga getting Seven's Road Magician, so he wants Yuga to get in trouble trying to claim Seven's Road Magician is in fact an illegal card that was created illegally, which it wasn't. He's just trying to gaslight everyone so Yuga is punished for using the card. Yeah, fucking great character, right? Trying to cheat. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
So, he duels and he loses. And that's all he kind of does. He's very... Accordingly, he's very, like, not a very likable character. He literally threw his own cousin against a window because she wouldn't like tell him a secret or something. He fucking physically abused his cousin. Yeah, fucking great character here, guys. What? Oh. So, yeah, it's all really the characters of like the main cast I can really remember, those 7. But oh boy, the villains. There's 4 villains of season 1 of this first arc. I'm just really talking about the first arc here. There's like a lot of other things I could get into. So these villains, in the first arc, there's really like 4 of them. There's like the head of Goha Corporation. And let me just get out of the way, he is not a character. Like seriously. He literally does not say or do anything. He literally stands there and just like laughs. And it's revealed that he's literally just a head of like a robot. Yeah. That's it. He's not like they present him as like some evil dude, head of like a giant corporation, but he doesn't do anything. It's super weird. I don't get it. But he's not the main villain of the first like arc season. The main villain is like this one, probably like my favorite character in the show, or one of my favorites. It's like this one, I forgot his name, but he's basically this like super smart tech guy tech kid who works at Goha Corporation. His name is Nail. Nail. He's basically he's the main antagonist of the Maximum arc, which is like the last arc of the first season. You see, he also does not like rush duels, and that is very epic. He does not like rush duels, and he wants to delete them. So he invites Yuga and the rest of the peanut gallery to his base in Goha Corporation, where he creates Maximum cards. What are Maximum cards? They're basically like 3-part monsters. You need like all 3 parts to summon them, and they take up the whole space on like the dual disc. They're probably like the only interesting thing about the show. And they ditch it halfway through for fusions. So he creates Maximums, which he kicks Yuga's ass with, because he made them like super overpowered. Oh, he also uses a Cybers deck. I know how much you like your Cybers cards.
Oh, hell yeah. I'll bubble review all day.
So, yeah. So Yuga, he's like, oh my god, I can't beat a Maximum card. And so his 3 friends are like, don't worry, Yuga, take these. They give him like, so this show is like obsessed with ID cards. So like each duelist has like an ID card that's like important for them to duel with. And apparently with the powers of friendship and technology, you can literally transform an ID card into like any card you want. I know, it's as stupid as it sounds. So, using the powers of friendship, he's able to turn his friend's ID cards into a Maximum monster. And he's able to beat Nail and save the day. And then Nail's like, actually, rush duels are epic. Hooray! That's basically the end of the arc. Oh, he also has like an assistant who's like a talking chair. Yeah, he's like a massage chair, or just like a giant chair who's like a robot. He's kind of funny. Stuffwell? Here, I'll just show you. I'm serious, he's just a chair that like has like a little head. No, I don't want to play tags right now. What do you think? Do you want to play tags? Alright, we'll play tags, I guess. I was hoping we'd watch some GX.
We can watch GX too. We got the next 3 days though.
Well,
Thank you so
yeah.
much.
So, yeah, his chair guy, his name is Sebastian. And, like, he's a chair. Funny. So yeah, he's a chair guy. It's like, you fucking transform into, like, a man chair. Transformers, more than meets the eye. Transformers, robots in disguise. And yeah, that's really all season 1. Most episodes of season 1 is like filler stuff or like annoying characters dueling. The duels are not that fun to watch because what makes the duels interesting is that the characters dueling have some kind of goal. But the characters aren't that interesting. Rush dueling is not that fun to watch overall. And each episode, usually there's like side mini villains also not liking Rush duels, and it's the same conclusion. When they lose, they're like, "Oh my god, Rush duels are so epic now." And I don't know, it's just so uninteresting. I guess I can get the appeal, but like I don't get the appeal at the same time. But
It's like, you know, he's collecting
yeah, there's the story is not there. It's mostly just about some villain trying to destroy Rush duels. The characters, there's not that much to them, as they have their one-note gimmicks, because it's a baby show for babies, for kids. Baby show, little baby man, oh baby man. It can't have like deep characters because this is a baby show. Ugh. This is very exhausting of a show to watch. The English dub is also like really bad. It takes an already not funny show and cranks it up to new levels of not funny. This was a very unorganized talent of season 1, but it's what I just feel about the show. I would like to go in depth to actually about these episodes and explain it. But that's all I really have to think about now. I don't want to think about this show. Season 2, from what I remember, is overall better, but that's not saying much. Well, when I feel like remembering season 2, we'll do that, but I guess we'll catch you later. Let's make like a tree and die in the winter. Of course it is, because I write and my opinions are always right. Did you forget about the beginning? Yes. Alright, did you stop the recording?